Letter to Peter Shapiro, Video 1. Hello, this is John Presco here. It's Friday the 13th. The Templars were allegedly harried or destroyed by the Pope. It hasn't proven to be true, or maybe it is. Anyway, yesterday I found a letter I wrote to Peter Shapiro in a binder of letters, of my letters here. Completely forgot about this. I've been rearranging my house and basically Peter Shapiro was the lead guitarist for the Loading Zone, and before that he was the lead singer and founder, I believe, of the Marbles, who played at the Tribs Festival and tribute to Dr. Strangelove. And these were the acid tests put on by Ken Kesey. And I will add Ken Babbs to that, because I'm finding out that he'd contributed something to this platform that was built in the middle of the Longshoremen's Hall. And he's in charge of this electrical wiring, and there's a light show going on. So his claim that he helped put together the sound system for the Grateful Dead might be credible. I just read that earlier for the first time and doing some research. I live with Peter Shapiro in a 12-bedroom mansion on 13th Street in downtown Oakland. It was like a couple blocks west of Webster Street. This house was going to be saved for to be moved to an area park where other Victorians are now standing. They were going to build a freeway through there, and it got torn down. It's I believe a freeway where we lived with the Loading Zone in 1967. This was an all-black neighborhood, basically. We were renting this house from a woman who had gone back to visit her sister back in Ohio or something like that, and she was about 85, and she was white woman living in this all-black neighborhood, and that inspired me to write a short story, which I found remnants of in my letters, which I'll be reading. I forgot about that. The notes I took for that story I found, which is good. It's originally called Negroes Look in My Window at Night, but I'm going to rename it Artichoke. This older woman had a bedroom in this Victorian. It's just, some things are just so amazing. And like, we weren't supposed to go in there or touch anything in there, and she was going to come back after her sister was very sick and maybe on her deathbed, and she was going to help her say goodbye to the world, and then she was going to come back. Well, we were there almost a year, and she never came back, but we used to have these tours of her bedroom. The Loading Zone played frequently at the Fillmore, and they were good friends of Bill Graham. Christine Waddell, who lived with us and was Peter's girlfriend when she moved in, every time the Loading Zone played at the Fillmore, her and Bill Graham used to go out for dinner, and by the the other groups were playing, and she told me that he got into this Bannadyne rumor that you can get a psilocybin psychedelic uh, uh, trip from drying banana peels. You know, you got to give us credit. You really, really do. And I'm going to. I mean, people are like, oh, hippies, they're responsible for mental illness in the world, aren't they? Did they take LSD and kill 50,000 people? Well, no. Trump killed 50,000 people last month by pretending that the coronavirus doesn't exist. So anyway, but that's his reality. Hope it's not around too much longer. But so they come back with bands that were playing. They come up to the Bay Area, play at the Fillmore, and they talk with his own backstage and hear about this house we lived in Oakland. They wanted to come over and visit. And one of the things that was on the tour was the old woman's room. You gotta, you know, I mean, talk about loving your generation. I mean, there'd be famous musicians, long hair. They, get the skeleton key and put it in her lock. Going, shh. This is her bedroom. And you go in there. There's like her hat on her dresser table with lace in front of it, the black lace, and she had her hairbrushes all set out and her little squirting things, perfume bottles, and it was wonderful. It was all antique furniture, and there was her bed, with very well made and everything smooth and tucked in. And we go on this tour. Some of the craziest people in the universe, a lot of times whacked out on drugs and psychedelics, and they're touring this old woman's house. And I got to staying up because they would want to come and see the artist in residence. And that was me. I was right next to the sound room. I had a beautiful Victorian room with a fireplace, and when the band would play, I would time it so I would stay up late because I knew that they were bringing people back at 2:33 in the morning. They'd be tripping around this Victorian. So the Warlocks, they played at the tribute to Dr. Strange, October 15th, 1965. And they played at the Trips Festival, January 21st to the 23rd, January of 1966. And unfortunately, 9 months later, LSD was made illegal, October 6, 1966. So this is the golden genesis and era of one of the most amazing movements in the history of humankind. From Ken Kesey putting on these acid tests to Oregon voters making psilocybin legal and cocaine. Psilocybin can be ingested in therapy for people that are suffering from deep depression. And Oregon decided it's just going to stop arresting people. Marijuana was legalized a couple of years ago. Not going to put people through the legal system and in jail for cocaine, small amounts of cocaine, recreational use. It's just not, it's meaningless. It's very expensive. So I came up to Oregon to get sober in 1987. I got on the train. I was living in a water tower in another all-black neighborhood in Oakland, basically with a crack gang who I met earlier. They adopted me and I adopted them. So this is my letter to Peter Shapiro. Okay. Dear Peter, while unpacking, I came across the name Goshen Art School and was curious to its origin. Fortunately, I'm a man of many dictionaries, but still can't spell, and it was my Bible dictionary that I broke your code. Goshen, extreme part of Egypt, northward toward Palestine, assigned to the Jews, Genesis 15:5-10. I now have a clear picture of this place. I see beaded women in robes, their backs bent like yokes as they carry huge gourds of water across a barren land to water an oasis of little gourds, while their men gray with the while their men greasy with perspiration labor deep in the mines to extract the thin pieces of metal used to make ancient Goshen thumb pianos. But this is not an unhappy place, for in their village emanates the sound that angels make as the children of these hardy people spend many a happy hour tuning the fruit of their parents' labor. And it is you, Peter Shapiro, man of God, who in his wisdom first led you to Oakland, California, to hire the hip and the Gentile as a means to get them to the real promised land, Morgantown, West Virginia, that has fulfilled the prophecy made so long ago that he should not be without boogie. A thumbs up to you, my friend. Peter maybe not a fisher of men, but a plucker of heartstrings. Where dost thou tarry and fro these unhappy days, when yuppies are about the land and in their German machinery and designer tennis rackets? Do you remember when you paid $1 a piece for them, and it was all in fun then to double fault? Double fault today means you're done something naughty with creative financing, and your friends are looking for your whereabouts. I am sure Goshen has seen them all come and go. I hear their happy shout after them. Pluck you! Which, of course, the Arabs bastardize into a different meaning we know well today, mistaking the P for an F sound. Ah, and what of me, you might well wonder. Then maybe not. Have I drunken Gregory survived the disappearance of the minimal lifestyle? Has the swing of the pendulum knocked me well off my course, or down in between the cracks? Judge for yourself, O wise one, as I unfold my tale of whim and woe, and judge not my God by the abundance of his grog, but that in the end he, in his great merciful belch, delivered me up upon interesting and beguiling shores, where happiness might be a reality in my own lifetime. As you can well see, I am an aspiring writer, and I am practicing on you, old chum. I have not been before my typewriter in a month. Nothing has improved, punctually speaking. I must get me to a school, but I try, and I'm working on my 3rd novel. I also have 7 months sobriety and am a coin-carrying member of AA, an astounding graduate of Serenity Lane. I'm learning new twists, and I'm turning my life around 180 degrees. You may find me down by the railroad tracks in a quaint hippie house in the Emerald City of Eugene. I am still a bum, hanging around with Kesey's, with the Keseys, and the famous Ken, a dear old friend, is presenting me before the cream of the town and as a great yet-to-be writer, but I'm still performing the act of getting my shit together, as cruel as it is. I do, however, have a cartoon book ready to hit the street, and I'm thinking of self-publishing as a means of diverting some of that hard-pressed money saved by the Christmas tree crucifiers of which this land of Oregon is known. If your teachings ever bring you my way, accommodations await you fitting a high professor of the art school, the Goshen Art School in transit, a bed of dog hairs and fleas before a crinkling gas hearth with a cup of stepped exotic tea in your jointed hand. Just like in the good old days when an angel appeared to Peter of Goshen with 3 gourd seeds and said, "Sow these in the barren ground and make them multiply, and the music of the spheres shall be yours." Until the pendulum swings an upbeat refrain, Shalom. Wow, a wonderful letter. And I'll be talking about this Peter's history and ours and other people that were there for those very rare years, 65 to 67. And it ended in 60. It was only 3 short years that this Renaissance came to be. And I'm referring to it. I'm seeking, well, I'm sober when I wrote that letter, and I still am. That letter was written in 1967. I have 7 months sobriety. I have 33 years today. Okay, well, I got that down. That's good. We'll make others. This Voice Poppy Show, you be careful out there. Letter 1 to Peter Shapiro.